rapper pumping out tracks like Jocelyn Flores, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, if not the most talked about artist of 2007, Violence Nativity. What's going on? Lost too young. I mean, the man was only 20. So please leave your condolences in the...
Hey, long time no see. Or here in this case. What's up, Hoodie?
Hey, Nick, what's up, man? Listen, can I ask you for a favor?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, can you die so I can make a video on it?
Can you run that by me again?
Can you die so I can make a video on it?
Can I die so you can make a video? Okay, come on. You can't, you can't tell me that you're this strapped for content. Hold on, let me take a look at your channel for a second.
A few moments later.
Yeah, you need content, don't you? Johnny, yes, but fucking, you made 2 videos about cursed items online. What the hell is...
Listen, Nick, it's September. Views are more shit than the back end of a horse. I fucking need this.
Well, obviously, yeah, you need it, but do you deserve it is the question.
Nick, listen, imagine the views. Interdimensional being discovered and its cat, and also it's fucking dead. That's a banger title.
Okay, like Schrodinger's cat or something?
No, just fucking dead.
Oh. Well, then I can't make videos either.
But I can. And it's on your death.
Yeah, but then I go broke.
What's your point?
Goodbye, Kwite.
Can you do me a favor and just, like, die so I can make a video on it?
No.
What the fuck? No!
No.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No.
I think fuck off.
Will you shout out my channel, though?
Okay. So you're asking me to fucking literally die so you can get 7 million views?
Yes, essentially.
So you're gonna exploit my passing away for your monetary gain?
Yeah, pretty much. Listen, Bung, you know I wouldn't do the same thing for you, but you should do it anyways.
No, I love life, and you should kill yourself. I value life so...
Yeah, it's not really swag, is it? I don't really want to die.
I'm already dead inside. You can't die twice.
Why?
No.
That's not helpful.
No.
Please do it for me anyway.
No.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's cool, it's cool.
Thank you. I've been told no like 20 times in a row. Listen, man, I won't forget this, but expect anthrax in the mail shortly.
Yeah, use UPS. FedEx kind of sucks.
Hi again, guys. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm sorry. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm not really feeling this camera angle at the moment. Just give me a second. I like this one. This'll do for now. Anyways, today we're going to be taking a look at a YouTuber and metaphorical mac and cheese brand named Michael McCrudden, who over his time on YouTube has managed to gain 2.6 million subscribers. He finds his humble beginnings in the form of videos like Cheetah Power Surge commercial contest, which he uploaded back in September 2010. In this video, after drinking a cheetah energy drink, he starts prancing around in public in just his underwear, more like a gazelle than a cheetah now that I think about it, but regardless, he gets a little up close and personal with bystanding pedestrians. Yeah, it's an interesting commercial concept, to say the least. More recently, however, he celebrated the 4th of July Canadian style, where when him and his team were getting to move into their own recording space, he gave his friend, who he wouldn't be seeing as often, a gift to remember him by. This gift being 1/2 of a pair of tits.
I wouldn't call us best friends, but I'd like to be breast friends. So this is... It's so stupid!
Hey man, you fucking called it.
Hi everyone, freshly poured lean here.
Now the videos that Michael made way back in 2010, and also that more recent video where he gave his friend 1/2 a pair of booberinis, isn't very reflective of his typical content. Michael McCrudden's main claim to fame, and what's amassed him most of his sizable subscriber count up to this point, was a series entitled Before They Were Famous, where he talks about celebrities' past and individual episodes, and in his words, he's there documenting the life and career of Cole Sprouse. Now, Michael McCrudden uploads a video, mainly ones in the Before They Were Famous series, nearly every single day. And that really begs the question, how does Michael pump out such high quality videos as these on a daily basis? How does he know what person he's gonna make a video on next? What's his process like? Luckily for those of you who might be hoping to follow in the footsteps of Michael here, he has an almost 30-minute video entitled Michael McCrudden Exposed Before They Were Famous, Michael McCrudden, where he goes in depth and breaks down the general process behind his Before They Were Famous videos for the aspiring bargain brand Michael McCrudden. I've watched through the video a couple times and taken down some notes that I can hopefully summarize down to an easily digestible form for you guys. Now, the episode they used as an example for their video making process was the Before They Were Famous the team made on Robert Frank, Macho Man Extraordinaire.
And a glorious pedicure She gave me a fucking pedicure!
So with that, let's start with step 1. Picking the person. When Michael gets home from work, he says that he likes to dig through DMs and also Twitter as well in order to take suggestions from fans on people to cover. There's a board in the Michael McCrudden offices that has a rotating schedule denoting what days videos on certain people go up. Breaking news surrounding celebrities often gets them first priorities. They try to get videos and people out when they're blowing up and try and ride that wave with that video. And A-list actors like Paul Rudd, who was the example used in this video, are less time sensitive when they go up because the name itself can just kind of drive the video in search. Michael says the schedule is always changing, adapting to input from the viewers like a piece of Play-Doh in a dishwasher, and he claims that it's essential to the process, as well as catering to trends to try and get the best performing videos possible. Now, once they have their victim selected, we end up at step 2, researching the person. For this step, there are a number of methods that Michael employs, one of the first of which is scrolling to the bottom of someone's Instagram page, apparently. When he goes there, he says that he's looking for indications of people's past, perhaps some sort of social media activity before fame, things they said about their past in Instagram posts, and also for a picture of the person at a young age so that Michael can use that picture in the thumbnail. After doing this rudimentary research, if Michael happens to be in contact with the subject of the video they're making, he sends them a questionnaire asking them about their personal life, their date of birth, how they got into what they do, stuff like that. As part of his research, Michael McCrudden goes to Wikipedia. Not to get information straight from the wiki itself, mind you, but to check out the sources cited on the Wikipedia page to see how reliable the source information is. And he also looks for what information he can and can't take from those sources, and if Wikipedia may have misinterpreted the information when putting it on the wiki page itself. Now, the Robert Frank they were making a video on in particular didn't have a Wikipedia page, but when going on that Robert Frank disambiguation wiki page to look for him, when they didn't find him, to show an example of checking sources that wiki themselves have cited, they ended up clicking on the top option, which just so happened to be an SS officer named Robert Frank, who was on the list of Knight's Cross recipients. The Knight's Cross, if you were wondering, was one of the highest ranking awards given to soldiers in Nazi Germany. Fun piece of trivia there that has no real importance to this video. On another tangent though, Michael also happens to offer another service on his website under the Fanworks tab, where people can submit their work to him for review by him and his team. And one of the featured fanworks was titled "Michael Helped Superman with His Homework on Hitler," and attached is a letter from someone named Clark Kent that reads as follows. "Hi Mr. McCrudden, thank you for making a video about Adolf Hitler. This has helped me so much with regards to assignments on Hitler. I have quoted you numerous times, to which my teacher became curious and believes you are now one of the most best YouTubers out there, and I would just like to take a minute to thank you for your work." Regardless, after the research is complete comes step 3, script writing. According to Michael, it took him a full day to put together the script for the Robert Frank video, around 8 hours, and it's a mix of all the info they've gathered. From articles, the questionnaire, Instagram, an Indian fortune teller he probably found in the back alleys of Toronto, and from wherever else. Things highlighted in green on the script are quotes, and things highlighted in yellow are video clips. Now, would you believe it if I told you that in Michael's workplace, whoever is the writer also has to take on the responsibility of finding video clips as well? The reasoning for this is because they have this unique way of storytelling they use at McCrudden Entertainment, where they have video clips that help pull the narrative along and aren't just there to be there. It's rich content like television in the 90s.
It's very much what television was in the 90s, where it's rich content. because we bust our balls here.
I would give filming its own step, but Michael says he takes like 12 to 14 minutes to record a 10-minute video to keep things moving quickly. He also shows us that he reads off a teleprompter for his lines, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Step 4, or 5 I guess, is editing. Michael has editors to do this part for him, and he had one of those editors running us through the time it can take to edit videos, depending on how long it is or what series it's in, and also some of the nuances of the editing that happened in that time. Eventually though, Michael got bored of listening to the editor explain stuff, so he just fast forwarded through his explanation.
This is the green screen stuff.
You know, okay, I gotta, here, listen, to be honest with you guys, we can't show you everything there is to know about editing and graphics.
One ad read later, and we're at step 6, the upload and promotion, in which Michael goes in depth with all that kind of stuff you need to pay attention to in order to help a video do well, including getting the right title, the right tags, promoting it on all your social media afterwards, and just getting it shared around as much as you can. All in all, this adds up to about another extra hour of work for 24/7 grind man Michael McPewDiePie. Now, Before They Were Famous is only one of the many series featured on the Michael McCrudden YouTube channel. Another one of his big series is The Rich Life, where he takes a look into the nice things that celebrities have bought with their money. But the series that seems to get Michael in the most trouble the most often is a series of his called Before They Were Gone, formerly known as Before They Were Dead. But what could it possibly be about the series that seems to land old McCrudden in boiling shit time and time again?
Hiya! If you guys are wondering what the fuck I'm doing out here, I don't
know either.
But essentially, I'm going to be sticking a metaphor down your throat. If I represent Michael McCrudden, and this ambiguous body of water is the amount of money I can make by rushing videos out on people who just fucking died, and this is about what it'll look like after a celebrity dies. Michael McCrudden is very opportunistic, or in other words, in this context, he really wants money and is very willing to do certain things to get it, which on its own isn't something I would really fault somebody too much for, but Michael takes it to a bit of an extreme in some of the things that he'll do. In his process, we talked about how Michael does near everything in his power to get a video to do as well as possible, whether that's using all his social media to spread it, optimizing the video in search, or just sacrificing fingernail clippings to Satan for an SEO boost. It's all pretty standard stuff, nothing really wrong with that, but there's one thing he specified that he does when a Before They Were Gone episode is in the works.
But when something happens, a lot of our Before They Were Gone videos, those are rushed because it's breaking news. We're catering to what you guys want us to put out.
And believe me, when Michael wants to hustle a Before They Were Gone out there, he fucking hustles it out there. He does it to make sure it's in a prime spot in the good old YouTube algorithm, and as a result, to make as much coin as possible. Let's take one of his more recent and perhaps his most publicized example of him doing this, where he made his Before They Were Gone video on XXXTentacion. A video he managed to get out just a day after X passed away, in which he reuses near word for word chunks of a script that was written for his XXXTentacion Before They Were Famous video 9 months earlier.
Taking note of his interest in music, his aunt put him in singing classes, and he spent some time learning the guitar and piano. He also took karate classes and is a big fan of the UFC. Taking note of his interest in music, his aunt put him in singing classes and he spent some time learning the guitar and piano. He also took karate classes and was a big fan of the UFC.
Now, these two videos were made 9 months apart, so a lot of stuff happened in between their two releases. And since a Before They Were Gone episode is supposed to chronicle a person's entire life before death, as opposed to a Before They Were Famous, where only a person's life before fame is covered, Michael couldn't reuse all of the writing that he'd already scripted. He had to put together some new material for recounting anything that had happened in X's life after his last Before They Were Famous on him. But when he could reuse the writing, he fucking went for it! The first half of his Before They Were Gone on X is rife with clips that, when compared to lines in the Before They Were Famous, sound like they were ripped straight from it, maybe with slightly different wording choices, but it was sometimes chunks of video that are like half a minute long, that sound almost identical to each other. But if you thought that him copying parts of a script to rush a Before They Were Gone out on someone who just died was bad, then you might be disappointed to find out that this is actually an improvement on what Michael has done to rush these out in the past. Back in October 2017, when Lil Peep passed away, Michael McCrudden and his team were hard at work to conceive a newborn Before They Were Gone episode on him, only a day after he had died. And they managed to do this again by reusing chunks of an older video in the new one. Except that time with Lil Peep, he took it a lot farther. Let me play clips of those two videos side by side just so you can get an idea of what I mean.
Despite growing up in a family of teachers, Gustav was never particularly interested in education. His high school had a closed campus, so to cut class, which he did frequently, Gustav hopped on a 20-foot fence and ran from the school's on-duty security guards. On top of hating class, Gustav didn't like his classmates. He told Fader, "They were like the stereotypical high schoolers from the movies. It's hard to find people you fuck with."
Now, if those clips looked and sounded eerily similar to you, that's because they are the same video. Michael McCrudden had made a Before They Were Famous episode on Lil Peep a little over a month prior to releasing the Before They Were Gone on Peep, and to get it out as quickly as possible, he reused every single asset from the Before They Were Famous that he could. The only thing that got changed consistently in a shit ton of footage was that the background was changed to the one for the Before They Were Gone series. And the thumbnail on the screen of the background was changed as well. Oh, and also the background music was different, so there's that, I guess. One of the things that made it pretty easy to tell what footage he was reusing was the fact that you could tell in what shots he was wearing a different pair of jeans. The hoodie wasn't too much help because it was the same Before They Were Famous merch he plugged in the Lil Peep Before They Were Famous. But to give you an idea of how deep this copy and paste thing went, let me break this down into categories of things that he reused. The way I'm going to be grouping these is going to have a crossover and timestamps of things that are reused, but I organized it like this to help show the different assets and parts that got rehashed. The first category is lines that he either kept the same and re-recorded, or lines he slightly tweaked, like changing something in the present tense to the past tense to accommodate this being a post-mortem Lil Peep video, and then re-recorded that after tweaking it. All in all, this type of recycling accounts for about 1 minute and 11 seconds of the Before They Were Gone on Lil Peep. The timestamps on screen are roughly where these correlations between the two videos line up, so you can check them out for yourself. The timestamps should be labeled as whatever video they refer to. Next up is editing work that was reused for the video. Now, when I say edit, I'm not going to be including where it's just footage of Michael talking with some green screen effects. When I refer to an edit, I mean like when they show an on-screen example picture of what they're talking about, they play video or music clips, stuff like that, basically to show that they used almost the exact same project file to make both videos with the same picture, video, and soundbite choices. The total time of reused edits, where it's an actual edit and not just takes of Michael talking, tallies up to about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. The timestamps I took down for these bits are on screen once again if you want to check them out for yourself. And lastly, we have instances where it's literally just a copy and paste of footage or audio lines that were recorded for the Little Peep before they were famous, which is in total about 3.5 minutes of the video. Woo! Fucking fantastic. Timestamps on screen if you want to check this chicken shit out for yourself one last time. But wait, there's actually a secret fourth section, a bonus meme if you will. This secret fourth section is the content that was new in Michael's Before They Were Gone on Little Peep. And this new content accounts for roughly 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the video, around 50 seconds of which are the intro and outro, both of which consist of him plugging his other videos, telling people to comment their condolences for those who have passed, and I will be getting to that later, and trying to feign sadness over Lil Peep dying.
Well, it's just a tragedy to lose someone so young.
And if all of that wasn't enough for you, Michael McCrudden's team also put out another video in addition to the Before They Were Gone on Lil Peep the day he died. Though admittedly this one is shorter. It's 2 minutes of celebrities reacting to Lil Peep's death. By now you probably get the idea that Michael McCrudden rushes videos on people's death to make sure his are the first ones out there, to make sure his are the ones that do well. But you might say, well, that's not very tactful, but what's the worst part about it? You kind of do the same thing when you're talking about trends on your channel, Kwite. Well, think about it like this. It's like the difference between Logan Paul making a video that has the dead body of a suicide victim in it, and a person making a video going in on Logan for the fact that he did that, whether it's brutally railing on him or it's more lighthearted clowning. When I make a video on a trend, what I stand to gain from that video isn't at the expense of someone who's died. The closest it's really gotten is the example that I just gave. Whereas with Michael McCrudden, some of these people are more useful to him dead than they are alive, because the trend that their death would create would allow him to make a video on them that might not do so well if it was just a Before They Were Famous on them when they were alive. Aretha Franklin or Stephen Hawking didn't have a Michael McCrudden video until they were gone. A video on either of them probably didn't seem like it would make a big enough splash to Michael until they were gone. But we've talked a good deal about the how Michael and his team are hard at work doing what they're doing. But let's get a little more into the what Michael hopes or stands to gain from doing what he's doing. I don't think doing things for money is inherently evil or bad. I think wanting to make money is fine, even if you're making an excess of it. For me, it's usually how you go about it, to what lengths you go for it, and also to a degree how annoying you are about it. And bear in mind, these lines are all very subjective. But the thing with Michael McCrudden is, practically everything he does seems centered around money. He rushes out his videos on dead people, as he specified, because it's trending and he doesn't want to miss the chance to make money. And not to mention, he's used needing to make money as justification for doing some of the things he's done. By saying things like, I need to pay to keep the lights on and to pay my team.
But the reality is I have to keep the lights on, I have a team to pay, so I just want to keep bringing you videos each and every day.
And that is true, you do need to pay for all those things. But an obligation to make money is not on its own a justification for the lengths that you might go to get that money. There's smaller things that Michael's done with these videos that kind of add up and make it pretty explicit his primary motivator for making them is money. Like whenever he makes a video on someone who's passed in general, he's got this habit of asking people to leave their condolences in the comments for those who have passed.
So please leave your condolences in the comments down below. Now we want this to be a testament to X's legacy, so please leave your condolences for him and his friends and his family in the comments down below. Also feel free to leave your condolences and thoughts for the departed in the comments down below.
This is just an underhanded way, in my opinion, of trying to get more interaction on the video in hopes that it will do better in the YouTube algorithm, the reasoning for which is, again, so that it can make more money. Speaking of the YouTube algorithm, the Before They Were Gone series was formerly known as the Before They Were Dead series, and miraculously, the name changed to the more monetizer-friendly one somewhere along the way, and gee, I sure wonder why. But that aside, on to some of the bigger things affected by Michael's need for some green. So as previously mentioned, Michael uploads near daily, and the videos in the 3 days following XXXTentacion's passing were all about that exact event.
A small correction I need to make here. Actually, in the first 4 days following X's death, Michael McCrudden made 4 videos. The first one he uploaded was the Before They Were Gone on X, and then the day after he uploaded a video that wasn't related to X's death, and the 2 days after that video was when the 2 other videos about X's death got posted.
The first one being the Before They Were Gone on X that had a shit ton of reused script. The second one was a video detailing some celebrity reactions to X's death, and the third and final one was a video covering some of the events that had happened after X had died. Like it being revealed that X had a kid and some of the suspects suspects in the case, stuff like that. It's not like these were super spur of the moment, covering it as it happens kind of things, because towards the end of every single one of these videos, Michael says he has plans to create the next one involving X's death.
Well, there was a tremendous outpour of condolences from both new media stars and A-listers. I might make a follow-up video on that. We do have a follow-up video coming. It's titled After They Were Gone. We're gonna be talking about a lot of the rumors, a lot of the controversy. Now, there are still many aspects of X's legacy that have yet to unfold. I'm sure I'll be keeping you guys updated as more information comes to light.
He knew that if the first one did well, he could capitalize on the death of X even further by following up with another one and another one after that. And he went through with those plans up until the last one, which to me was a little more of an ambiguous promise of a follow-up than the others to start with. But there's a separate thing he did in that last video that just kind of grinded my gears a little bit more. So towards the beginning of the video, he says that his Before They Were Gone on X isn't being monetized by him, and that companies associated with X claimed it and are the ones choosing to run ads on that video and making money off of it. He says that the same thing happened to his Lil Peep video and that he expects them to claim the After They Were Gone video on X as well. And you might think that this actually helps his case a little bit. He clarifies he's no longer profiting off those videos from AdSense, and it might create some precedent that he's making these videos in tribute to the people they are on instead of as a cash grab.
But the reality is I have to keep the lights on, I have a team to pay, so you know, I just want to keep bringing you videos each and every day. To make this all happen, we do have a sponsorship with Candy Pens.
God fucking damn it, Michael. Yeah, he gets a sponsorship from a vape company on a video about someone's fucking death because he thought the video was gonna get demonetized. Brilliant. He wants money. Even if it means doing something as jarring as a vape ad read right after talking about how Ski Mask the Slump God wants to continue some of the charity efforts that X had planned before he died.
When it comes to X's new interest in charity, Ski Mask the Slump God, well, he has said that he would like to take over the charity event he was planning and also make it a day of remembrance. When tragic news hits, people handle it in all sorts of different ways. I know when I heard the news of X's passing, I was tempted to step outside and light up a good old-fashioned cigarette. That's right, your boy McCrudden is a smoker, or at least I used to be. I've since found a new alternative through my collaboration with Candy Pens.
This feels like something out of an SNL skit. I'm having a hard time months after the fact believing that this is real life and not a Jimmy Kimmel prank. One where he's gonna come in the room and spray me with a fire extinguisher. Oh yeah, before I forget, speaking of things I'm not entirely sure are real.
Here we go. Welcome to One Guy, 5 Grannies.
So for some context, Michael McCrudden has a background in acting. He went to McMaster University to study for theater and film. He's got demo reels of his experience hosting shows over time. He's been in the entertainment industry since before the Dark Ages or whatever. Listen, the point is he is experienced with performance. And there's this thing he does consistently in a lot of his Before They Were Gone videos where he acts like he's really affected by the deaths of the people he's covering, saying things like they were gone too soon or it's truly a tragedy to lose someone so young, which in many of the cases of him saying it, I would agree with the sentiment. But it's very hard to think he's genuine about it at all when the videos he's making on these people have literally recycled bits of past videos in order to get them out there faster just so more money could be made off of them. Also, it's really weird when in the same take he will finish up a line where he's talking about how much of a tragedy it is, and then immediately after he does that thing where he asks for condolences in the comments to try and drive interaction in the video.
Sadly, these are other legendary artists who we lost too young. I mean, the man was only 20. So please leave your condolences in the comments down below.
Or also, again in the same take as the line where he's pretending to be real sad about the death he's covering, Michael immediately transitions to a plug about he's covered other fucking SoundCloud rappers and how we should definitely check those out.
Well, it's just a tragedy to lose someone so young. Now, I've covered a ton of other SoundCloud artists in the past, so definitely check out those videos.
It's like such an on-off switch. I feel like my neck's been dinked with a bowling ball moving at Mach speed, all because of the whiplash from that clip. But it's really hard to take any of Michael's videos like these or anything he says praising those who have passed as genuine when this is how he goes about it. At the very least, as a viewer, the placement of those two things next to each other is just very jarring, and maybe spacing them out might be worth a shot. Michael can get very self-congratulatory throughout the entire vlog where he's kind of going through the process of making a Before They Were Famous. He's sure to always hit on that he and his team always go that extra mile that they don't have to, or that they always bust their balls at Before They Were Famous.
You guys have no idea how much work goes into these. So you guys know that we don't take any time off here on Before They're Famous. There's also side channels, a Spanish channel. There might be some talking in the background because of course, in this studio, we've always got a few things on the go. What we're kind of doing is we build our own Wikipedia on a person. We don't actually go to Wikipedia and then I just recite all that for you because, I don't know, if you look at the show, there's way more going on with our clips and our cut-ins and my personal opinion on stuff.
that would just be boring.
And to his credit, when he's congratulating himself, it's not just him saying it about himself all the time. A lot of the times it is him saying him and his team as a whole worked really hard, and that's fair enough. You're very much allowed to be proud of yourself and the people you work with, and Michael seems very proud of all the things he's done. All the things he says he does every day, during work hours, after hours, and never taking breaks, just like a brand new intern.
Why do we work that extra bit? Why do we work that? It's like we work so much harder than we need to. I mean, there's like a style to this. It's very much what television was in the 90s, where it's rich content, because we bust our balls here.
He also takes some time to acknowledge every single person he's made a video on that embraced the show and said they loved it. He just really wants to make sure that we know that celebrities love the show and the videos made on them, because Michael and the team do such a great job on it.
I'm actually gonna run through a list of names of people who have shouted us out, tweeted us out, shown their love, reacted to the videos. It's pretty long and epic. I don't have it here, so I'll have to do it later. It's gonna be like French Montana, Tory Lanez, Logan Paul. But I don't have it, we'll do it later.
According to Michael, the most requested person to be on Before They Were Famous is an episode on Michael himself, and he obliged to this by making one on him for his 1 million subscriber special. It cataloged everything he's ever done, the many mistakes and many achievements he's had, and it was over 20 minutes long. In addition, no mistakes were made on that video, according to Michael himself. Good job on that one, Nerd City. He then made another one earlier this year called Before I Was Famous for Old Headshot Day, a chunk of which was also on himself, but the first bit is him covering other celebrities who took part in the trend, and then he goes over his thoughts on his old ones and clarifies how little content he makes on himself, so he chose to do this one just to join in on the fun. He's also made a Rich Life episode on himself where he details all the money he's made and also how monies who guessed his net worth actually lowballed him. He details the stuff he's bought with that money, like his house, his car, his watch, some nice clothes, and how much work he put in to get where he is, which, again, fair enough. But altogether, there's like 6 videos I could find in the main series that he's made on himself. One of them was a decent April Fool's joke saying that Michael McCrudden had died in a number of ways. One is the video Michael gave his friend a half a pair of tits in. 3 of them are the last 3 that I mentioned, and the last one is the video that I've mentioned a few times already, where he detailed the process behind making a Before They Were Famous episode and often just got super self-congratulatory. The thing with Michael, though, is that while he might be proud, his pride is easily wounded. And it makes him petty. Like, the kind of petty that when a channel with 2,000 subscribers at the time makes a video that's critical of you, doing about average view-wise for that channel, you, a channel with 2 million subscribers at the time, feel the need to respond on your second channel, which, while smaller in size than your main channel, is still over 10 times bigger than the channel that's made the video on you. And in the video you respond with, the title and thumbnail are exactly the same as the video that was critical of you, working to suppress that video that was critical of you in search, because as the bigger channel, your video will typically appear higher in search results. Also, the video itself is actually just a 1-minute clip you took from a different video that you made for your main channel. A clip vaguely addressing, sometimes completely ignoring the criticism you got in the video that was critical of you. If this seems like an oddly specific situation to you, then congrats, you figured it out, because it is one.
After he re-uploaded a video about Little Peep the day he died to make sweet ad revenue, after he made a response video completely ignoring any of the points I made, after he tried to censor my video by uploading a video with the same title and thumbnail as me. I'm your host, Michael McCrudden, and I'm now British.
The video Michael was responding to was by a friend of mine, James Marriott, who found himself caught up in the situation I described around the time Michael's Before They Were Gone on Lil Peep was originally uploaded. And it is funny to me that Michael felt such a strong need to snuff out what a 2,000 subscriber channel had to say about a 2 million sub channel. I guess it makes some sense considering the stuff that James said in that video was pretty damning, but instead of leaving it be to just kind of exist, he decided to actively silence it with his stolen thumbnail and title response, which gave James reason to make another video on him. Ironically, probably getting even more people to see the original video that James made than if McCrudden were to have just ignored it. But this kind of thing isn't exactly new for Michael. Pettiness is how he responds to a lot of criticism, oftentimes no matter how legit that criticism might be. Once upon a time, SS Sniper Wolf reacted to the Before They Were Famous episode on her, and she said that a bunch of the stuff he said in that video was incorrect and that the video on her felt like a hit piece or whatever. The validity of those statements isn't exactly the focus here, it's more how Michael responded to those claims 2 years after the fact. Once again, this reaction happened in his exposed video on himself, but he says that his reputation for supposedly getting things wrong comes from this whole SS Sniper Wolf thing. Here's how he reacts to the situation 2 years after it's come and gone.
I'm happy to sit back now and watch plenty of other YouTubers, Nerd City, Kavos have all gone on to to say the same things, uncover the same information.
It's done with a similar feeling behind it as the thing he did with James, one of pettiness. I get that he might be happy after all this time to be validated by others for being right, and that the criticism he was getting from SS Sniper Wolf had far less merit to it than the stuff that James was saying. But dude, it's been 2 fucking years and you're still grudging this hard. The stuff he did in regards to SS Sniper Wolf in that clip isn't a massive issue for me. It more just kind of shows a pattern.
And a lot of people will just all over everything I do. They'll be like, everything's wrong.
I wanted to include a bit where I address some of McCrudden's common defenses that he throws out whenever he gets called out on some of his behavior. The first one is a defense I addressed earlier, where he says that he has to pay to keep on the lights and that he has a team to pay, and to do that he has to make this money somehow, which again I did say was true. But also again, just because you have those obligations to make money does not justify how you go about making said money, like directly profiting off of someone's death. The second one is Michael saying the videos are supposed to act as a testament to the deceased's legacy, as a respectful tribute to them in order to try and justify the video's existence in the first place, which even if that was the intention, which I highly doubt, you reusing footage to rush out a video on someone is not respectful in my books. The timing with Before They Were Gone seems to be oddly convenient a lot of the time as well. Like, you made your first Tupac Before They Were Dead back in 2016, and you only revisited it with an updated version to coincide with the release date of All Eyes on Me, Tupac's biopic. It doesn't seem like it was meant to be too much of a tribute, just more to capitalize on somebody's death again. And that's not to mention how after every time someone famous dies, they are your immediate focus for making your next video on, and as you've specified,
when something happens, a lot of our Before They Were Gone videos, those are rushed because it's breaking news. We're catering to what you guys want us to put out.
As kind of an addition to this defense, he said before that asking people to leave their condolences for the fallen and their loved ones in the comments kind of acts like an online memorial, but he does it in every fucking Before They Were Gone and Before They Were Dead, and it's clearly to drive interaction on the video so it gets seen more. And like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to get your content to be seen, but the goal here is to make money off of dead people who are dead. Like, for Christ's sake, Michael, you asked people to leave their condolences in your fucking keyboard cat video.
Now, as we do in all our Before They Were Gone videos, I'm gonna ask you to leave your condolences for Keyboard Cat's loved ones, aka Charlie Schmidt, in the comments down below.
This shit isn't real. I'm in a Jake Paul vlog. Very funny, guys, very funny. Now, the last defense of Michael's that I'm going to be addressing in this segment, and the one that I think actually holds the most merit, is the idea that his channel falls under both the categories of entertainment and news. And with that comes the idea that news has always reported the deaths of celebrities, and people have always turned the media to get this information. I think you can argue that Michael's channel covers the news sometimes, and in the video that I saw where he was making this argument, he shows some clips of him being in a kind of typical news reporter setup, saying some stuff about news. I also think that news outlets are within their rights to cover deaths, even if they're monetizing it in some form, like having it be a single part of a program that has commercials run through it. The thing is though, for better or for worse, the news usually strives to break stories. I don't know how many celebrity deaths you've been the first to report on, Michael. And more importantly, even when news outlets report on people's deaths, there is usually some expectation that they will do it with class. And when they get called out for not doing that, typically to quell backlash, they own up to it to varying degrees of sincerity pretty fucking fast. For example, when Fox News made a tribute to Aretha Franklin following her passing, they accidentally used a photo of Patti LaBelle in that tribute. They apologized for it, gave an explanation that was debatably satisfactory, but expressed regret over it nonetheless. What that regret was for is up to interpretation. But what they didn't do was, one, get called out for reusing large parts of an old video to rush out a supposed tribute, and in response to being called out, they didn't make a video trying to drown that criticism out of search by stealing its thumbnail and title, where the response itself completely ignored the points that were being made and decided to refute an argument that wasn't really happening in the first place. Now, these are just the defenses I came across the most when researching this video. I'm sure there are more, so if I missed any, feel free to let me know. In conclusion, I don't think Michael McCrudden is the scum of the earth. I think he's just a stubborn brick. Absolute unit in the worst way possible. My issue isn't so much that he's making money off of somebody's death by making content on it alone. Like I said, I'm okay with other media doing it and even monetizing it, so long as it's respectful and or tasteful. You could argue that in YouTube, the standards are different because we're a different platform for media, but my issue with Michael is that when he does cover deaths, he's more focused on getting the video out to hit that trend of somebody recently dying and making the money off of it than he is to making respectful tribute a lot of the time. And also the lengths he'll go to profit off of those those videos if he can't monetize them outright. Case in point, how he reused his assets and got a bait sponsor on one of the videos on X's death. And with topics as sensitive as these, that just doesn't sit very well with me. The reason I say Michael is stubborn though is because I see a pattern of behavior in what he does. You take a look at his decisions like changing the title of the Before They Were Dead series to Before They Were Gone, driven by want of monetization. You look through a bunch of episodes in the series, and in almost all of them from years ago to the present, he asks people to leave their condolences in the comments. The way he responds to criticism, whether it's addressing criticism old or new, whether he's responding to it almost a year ago or only a few months ago, regardless of what the criticism is, whether it's valid or not, his response is often petty towards it. He gets called out for reusing parts of a video in order to rush it out. He does it again anyways. Now, the thing that does give me some small hope for Michael is that he's made improvements over the years in his conduct, even if small. Like, when comparing the reuse of assets in the Lil Peep video to the XXXTentacion video, in the Peep video, he reused almost the entire thing. Whereas in the X video, the more recent of the two, he reused none of the same recordings, though he does still reuse large chunks of the script. In his Before They Were Gone on Aretha Franklin, before he dives into the meat of the video, he says this.
Now, it's impossible for us to get every detail about our legacy into this video, but we're gonna try our best. We hope you find these videos to be a respectful tribute. Now feel free to leave your condolences in the comments down below. Now let's get into this video.
Now, while that might again sound disingenuous because he goes right into the condolences thing after he says he hopes we find these videos to be a respectful tribute, keep in mind I said small improvements. I think there is hope for Michael to improve on some of this stuff overall. Do I personally think he will? Not really. There's not a massive incentive for him to, and while he might be making incremental changes, they appear small for the most part to me thus far. At the end of the day, he's allowed to make these kind of videos, and I'm allowed to complain about them. How is that, Michael?
Hey, that was a really good job, Kwite.
Wow, thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is it actually a living turtle?
Yes. The living turtle keeping his head above the water.
Oh no!
Again. Can you like die so I can make a video on it?
Yeah, all right.
But no, I need you to say no.
Oh. All right, let's try that again.
It's ab work, okay?
Did our training do nothing for you?
No.
Yeah. Charity event. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of XXX.
Michael McCrudden, and this ambiguous body of water represents the amount of money. Fuck. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way to the end, it's much appreciated. If you come here often, then you know this is pretty obviously a departure from what I usually do, and if you're new to the channel, then welcome. It was a bit of an experience making this video, definitely different, and it's my first time doing something this big, or at least this long. I recorded all the bits from this angle in one session, so my lungs feel like they're about to give out. But if you guys have any feedback on how I could improve this kind of thing, or if you want more in general, that would be greatly appreciated, and please leave that in the comments below. If with this video in particular, you guys think I missed something or I got anything wrong or you just have something to add or just whatever, really, be sure to leave that in the comments as well. Also, if you have any idea on someone I could make another one of these things on, be sure to let me know as well. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite and on Instagram at Kwite.png. Links to both of those in the description. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.